Hello scholars, welcome to Dakshnai classroom. Until now in this chapter of alternating current, we have covered what is alternating current. We have also covered what is purely capacitive circuit, what is purely resistive circuit, and what is your purely inductive circuit. In the last lecture, we also talked about that how we can use vector method in order to find the current in an AC circuit very easily. So in this today's lecture, we are going to talk about first thing that we will talk about, that if there is an AC circuit and there is resistor, there is inductor, there is capacitor, and any combination of these three is there in your circuit, then how you can calculate power consumed in your circuit. So first topic that we will talk about is what is power consumed in AC circuit. That is the first thing we will be talking about. Second we will talk about that until now we have seen pure circuits, meaning purely resistive, purely capacitive, purely inductive. So second thing we will talk about is CR circuit. What is a CR circuit? Meaning in same circuit there will be resistance also, there will be capacitance also, and they will be connected across an AC source. And the third thing we will talk about is LR circuit. LR circuit, meaning in the same circuit there will be your inductor, there will be resistor, and they will be connected across an AC source. So pause the video, note them down, then we will start with what is power consumed in an AC circuit. So let us talk about what is power consumed in an AC circuit. So for example, here I have an AC circuit, and for the sake of your derivation I have attached your inductor also, capacitor also, and resistors also. Now in this type of circuit, what we have seen that if EMF supplied is E naught sine omega t. So EMF here, let us write E naught sine omega t, that is your EMF. If this is EMF, then you have seen in case of series AC circuits there is a phase angle. So your current may be written as I equals I naught, or I naught is nothing but E naught by Z sine of omega t plus phi. Now here what is Z? We have already seen Z is nothing but under root of R square plus XC minus XL square, where Z is called impedance of this circuit. Now what is phi? We have seen phi is nothing but tan phi equals XC minus XL divided by R, like this. How we got this? We got this when we represent R, XE, XC and XL as vectors. Now, so if this is current, this is EMF, then what is power? So if I want to know power consumed in this circuit, what is power consumed? Heat generated, energy lost. If I want to calculate that, what I can do? I will have to find out how much work is being done by the battery. Now if I want to know what is work done by the battery, so if you say that sir current is this, and what is current? Current is nothing but rate of flow of charge, dq by dt, that is your current. So current is this, so let us write this as I naught sine of omega t plus phi, like this. Now so can I write q or dq like this, I naught sine of omega t plus phi times dt. This is your charge flowing through, not battery, through your source, AC power source in time dt. Now if you want to know the work done by the battery, so dw, let us write dw. What is work done by the battery? If potential or EMF of the, not battery, I am saying battery again, of the AC power source, if the potential or EMF of the AC power source is E equals E naught sine omega t, then what I can simply say, sir, EMF multiplied by charge, that is the work done by the battery or AC power source. So what is work done? Work done is nothing but EMF or potential of your power source times charge flown through the source. So if dq charge flows through your source and EMF is E, then work done be dw equals E times dq, that is your work done. So let us write that dW is nothing but E. What is E? E is this value, E naught. So let us write that to be E naught, and dQ is this value. So E naught I naught sine omega t sine of omega t plus phi, like this. So this is E naught sine omega t is your EMF of the source. I naught sine omega t plus phi is current through the circuit, and here dt. So this is work done by the battery in time dt. And if I find work done by the battery in any extended period of time, that will be the energy consumed in my circuit. So here I can say, let us calculate work done in one time cycle. In one time cycle means starting from 0. And what is time period of an AC circuit? 2 pi by omega. So let us calculate work done in one time period, like this. So what would be work done in one time period? Work done would be equal to, here E naught and I naught are constants, so E naught I naught, take them as constant, and here I can write integrating from 0 to t. What is capital T? 2 pi by omega. So 2 pi by omega, 0 to t, and here sine omega t sine of omega t plus phi, like this, and dt. Now this is purely mathematical equation that you can do on your own. So when you solve this, when you do this integration from 0 to t, this is pure mathematics. So when you do this from 0 to t, capital T, and capital T equals 2 pi by omega, you get this value as work done equals E naught I naught cos phi whole divided by 2. You get this value. When you solve this, you will get this value. So this value, and if you pay attention, there it is E naught, and here it is I naught. So E naught divided by root 2 is what? ERMS. I naught by root 2 is IRMS. So this equation may also be written as work done is nothing but ERMS times IRMS. Here you will get times T as well. Here you will get capital T here. So work done is nothing but ERMS IRMS cos phi and times T. That would be work done by the battery in time T, capital T, in one cycle. Remember, we have seen work done in one time period, meaning I am taking starting T1 to be 0 and I am taking T2 to be capital T, meaning my integration is from 0 to capital T. So in one cycle or one time period, battery or your EMF source does the work ERMS, IRMS, cos phi, capital T, where what is phi? Phi is nothing but tan inverse of XC minus XL divided by R. Pause the video, then we will discuss further. So we have discussed what is work done by this AC power source in this circuit in one time period. Now what is work done? Work done is ERMS, IRMS, cos phi, and this whole multiplied by T. Let us write like this. This whole multiplied by capital T, where capital T is one time period of this source. Now, so work done by the battery is this much. Now what is power? Power is nothing but rate of work done. So if one cycle time period work done is this much, so average power can be written as nothing but total work done divided by time taken. So I can say P average in one time period, like this. T average in one time period will be nothing but work done divided by time taken, and time taken is this, so that will cancel out. So that will be left with ERMS, IRMS and cos phi. That is your average power. So average power, or you can write this here as P average. So P average in one cycle comes out to be RMS potential or EMF of your source multiplied by average or RMS value of current multiplied by cos phi. Now here cos phi is called power factor. Cos phi is called power factor of AC circuit. Cos phi is power factor of your AC circuit. Now, so cos phi value you can find from tan phi is equal to XC minus XL divided by R. Now, so that is your cos phi. Now, why cos phi is called power factor? Now, if you remember, for example, let us say I remove L and I remove C. If there is only resistance, there is a purely resistive circuit, then what would be power? Then power would be nothing but ERMS multiplied by IRMS. That would be power. So cos phi is power factor because cos phi is there only because there is L, there is C. If L and C was not there, there would be no need for cos phi. So power changes in an AC circuit. Power changes by a factor of cos phi when you introduced inductor and capacitor. That is why this cos phi is called power factor of your AC circuit. Now remember, there is a note you should write that even though we have calculated this average power for one time period, we have calculated this for a one time period, but for a long time interval means delta T is very greater than capital T. If delta T is very greater than capital T, let us say for 2 hours, 3 hours, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, like that. So if delta T is very greater than capital T, this average power is valid, even though we have calculated it for one time period. So if delta T is very greater than capital T, this P average holds true. So this will be your average power in any kind of AC circuit. There is L, C and R. Now there can be a combination of RLC. We are going to study. There can be combination of RLC. There can be RC, there can be RL, there can be LC, any combination. This equation will be true. This equation can be used to find average power. Pause the video, note it down. Now let us talk about power consumed in three kind of circuit that we have already studied. What are the three circuits that we have already studied? We have studied purely resistive circuit, we have studied purely capacitive circuit, and we have studied purely inductive circuit. So let us talk about first purely resistive circuit. Purely resistive. So in case of purely resistive circuit, what is your tan phi? Tan phi is nothing but X is 0, XL is 0 divided by R, which is 0. So if tan phi is 0, meaning phi is what? Phi is 0. If phi is 0, then your cos phi is what? Cos phi is 1. So power will be what? P average will be equal to ERMS IRMS cos phi. And what is cos phi? 1. So that will be ERMS IRMS. That is your power. That can also be written as E naught I naught divided by root 2, because ERMS is nothing but E naught by 2. IRMS is nothing but I naught by 2. So in case of a purely resistive circuit, cos phi becomes 1 and power consumed is this much. So that is well understood, that you have already studied. What about purely capacitive circuit? Here it is a little bit interesting. So second is purely capacitive circuit. Purely capacitive. Now in case of a purely capacitive circuit, when there is only a capacitor, there is no inductor, there is no resistance, no nothing. So what you will say? Tan phi is equal to XC minus 0 divided by 0, like this. So in this case your phi will be what? Phi will be pi by 2. In case of a purely capacitive circuit, current leads EMF by pi by 2. So like this. So your cos phi will become what? Cos phi will become 0, meaning P average equals ERMS IRMS cos phi. And what is cos phi? Cos phi is 0, meaning power consumed is 0. Meaning if you attach a capacitor, just a capacitor, across an AC source, then there would be no heat loss, there would be no energy loss in case purely capacitive circuit. Why is that? Because in case of a purely capacitive circuit, all the work done by the battery in one cycle, in one positive, will be stored in the capacitor. And when the current reverses, that energy will be given back. So in case of a purely capacitive circuit, there is no energy loss and average power may be written as 0. So since in case of purely capacitive circuit, average power is 0, so this is also called watt-less current. Watt-less current. Why it is called watt-less current? Watt is what? What is the power unit of power? Average power. So since power is 0, so watt-less, meaning there is no power consumed in this circuit. Okay, let us talk about purely inductive circuit. So third is your purely inductive circuit. So what happens in case of a purely inductive circuit? So in case of a purely inductive circuit, what happens? That see here, tan phi will be equal to 0 minus XL divided by 0. And as you know, in case of purely inductive circuit, current lags the EMF by pi by 2. So here phi is nothing but minus of pi by 2 and cos phi is what? 0. So cos phi is 0, so average power P average is equal to ERMS IRMS cos phi. So that would be 0 because cos phi is 0. So in case of a purely inductive circuit also, your average power consumed or heat loss will be 0. Why? Because whatever is work done by the battery, that is stored in the form of magnetic field energy in your inductor. And when the direction of current reverses, that energy is given back to the circuit, or back to the circuit whatever your source is there, not battery, maybe any source. So P average in case of purely inductive or purely capacitive circuit is 0. So this means what? This means that in a circuit, if you add a inductor or a capacitor, then an inductor or a capacitor do not consume power. They do not lose heat. So only thing that loses heat in a circuit is your resistor. When we talk about LCR circuit, then we will talk about that in detail. For now, pause the video, note it down. Now let us try to solve a question based on your power consumed in an AC circuit. So here question is given: an AC source supplies ERMS equals 100 volt and drives an RMS current of 10 ampere. Power average delivered by the sources. Now what kind of circuit it is not given, meaning there is no information about the components of the circuit, meaning there is resistance, there is inductance, there is capacitance. What is there we do not know. So how we will calculate? So what I can say is, sir, power average is what? Nothing but ERMS IRMS and cos of phi. That is your power. So ERMS is 100, IRMS is 10. So this must be equal to 1000 cos phi. Now the value of cos phi depends upon what? Depends upon the components of the circuit. For a purely capacitive circuit, phi will be pi by 2. For a purely inductive circuit, this will be your minus pi by 2. And for a purely resistive circuit, phi will be 0. Meaning depending upon this circuit, value of phi may vary from plus pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, like that. And since value of phi can vary from plus pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, value of cos phi can vary from 0 to 1. So here you will say, sir, cos phi may be less than or equal to 1 depending upon what are the components of our circuit. So if cos phi can be that, then you can say, sir, P average can be less than or equal to 1000 watt. Why we are saying less than or equal to? Because we don't know what kind of circuit it is. If it is purely resistive circuit, then it would be equal to 1000 watt. If it is purely capacitive circuit, then it would be 0. If it is purely inductive circuit, then also it would be 0. If it is in between, there is resistance also, there is inductance also, there is capacitor also, all of them are there, then it would be less than 1000 watt. So it can never be more than, see here, maybe less than, maybe more. So maybe more, it can never be true. Must be 1000 watt. Must be not is correct. That must. It is not necessary. It will be 1000 watt only when there is only resistance. So it may be 1000. Meaning if your circuit is only a resistor, then it will be 1000. So maybe 1000. And maybe less than 1000. So that is also true. So two options are correct here. Maybe 1000, maybe less than 1000. So power average is less than or equal to 1000 watt. So this way you can do the question on average power. Pause the video, note it down, then we will solve another question. Let us talk about a CR circuit. CR circuit means there is a capacitor and there is your resistor. Sometimes it is also written as RC circuit, no problem. So in this kind of circuit, now instead of using the mathematical way, we have already studied vector method. So we are going to use vector method of finding the current. So let us say that EMF here is E naught. So current, and if I want to find the current, what I can do is, if I want to use the vector method, then if you remember, resistance is written along the x-axis and your XC, what is XC? That is inductance, not inductance, reactance of your capacitor, reactance. So XC, reactance of a capacitor is nothing but 1 by omega C, like this. So here let us represent R like this. That is your resistance across x-axis. So this would be your direction of current. So in case of your capacitor, in case of a purely capacitive circuit, if you remember, current leads EMF by pi by 2. So XE is denoted like this. This is your XC. And what would be your resultant? This is XC. And resultant is Z like this. So this would be your phi, and tan phi is nothing but what? Tan phi here may be written as, let us write that here, tan phi is nothing but XC divided by R. Now this is R, this is XC, tan phi is XC by R. So here XL is 0. So tan phi is this. Now if I want to write the current, so current in this circuit would be what? Current would be nothing but E naught by Z. What is Z? Z is the impedance of the circuit, where that is effective resistance of the circuit. So E naught by Z sine of omega t plus phi, plus this phi angle, plus this phi. So you can write here phi is nothing but tan inverse of XC divided by R. That is your phi. So in case of your this RC circuit, when source is E is equal to E naught sine omega t, then R like this, XC like this, this is the Z value, this is phi, so like this. Now what is Z here? What is Z? So here Z is nothing but vector sum of R and XC. And since R and XC are making a 90-degree triangle, right angle triangle, then you can say, sir, Z is nothing but under root of R square plus XC square. That is the value of Z. Now what would be power consumed? What would be power consumed in an RC circuit? So power consumed for a long period of time, when time interval is very large compared to time period. So for that you can say P average is nothing but, what would be P average? P average would be ERMS IRMS cos of phi. That we have already studied. If you remember, P average we have already studied. So what is P average? E RMS, I RMS. So E RMS is nothing but E naught by root 2. I RMS is nothing but I naught by root 2. So E naught by root 2 multiplied by I naught by root 2. And what is cos phi? From this diagram you can say, sir, cos phi is nothing but R by Z. Remember, cos phi is R by Z. So cos phi is R by Z. You can write this in various forms. So here you can write this as E naught I naught R divided by twice of Z. You can write like this. Or what is I naught? I naught is nothing but E naught by Z. So here you can replace this I naught with E naught by Z also. So your power will come out to be E naught square R divided by twice of Z square. That can also be your power. So this formula is valid always. Now it's up to you and up to the question that you want to write this formula in which way. You can write that like this also, like this also, like this also, whichever way is needed for the solving the question that you can use. So here you see that if I use the vector method of finding the current, then it becomes very easy. You can directly write this where phi is like this. If you want to solve mathematically, then it would be a little bit complicated. That is why we use or we study vector method of finding the current in an AC circuit. Pause the video, note it down. Let us solve a question based on your RC circuit. So here question is given. In a series AC circuit, E naught is 50 volt, R equals 300 ohm, your capacitance is 25 microfarad and frequency of your source is 50 by pi hertz. Now find peak current and average power dissipated in the circuit. Now, if I want to know the peak current, then E naught is already known. Next thing I want to know is your Z, impedance of the circuit, that is effective resistance. In order to know the impedance, I need two things. I need R, which is already given, and I need reactance of your capacitor. So XC is nothing but 1 by omega times C. And what is omega? Omega by 2 pi is frequency. So omega is nothing but 2 pi mu. So that would be 1 by 2 pi multiplied by 50 by pi. Pi cancel, that would be 100. So 100 pi. 100 times C. C is 25 microfarad. So 25 microfarad, 25 times 10 to the power minus 6. And if denominator 10 to the power minus 6 is there, so numerator you can write 10 to the power plus 6 like this. So XC in this case you will get what? 10 to the power 6 divided by 100, 10 to the power 4. So that would be 400 ohm like this. So your reactance of your capacitor is 400 ohm. Now what would be impedance? What is impedance? Effective resistance of the circuit. R square plus XC square, because there is no L, there is no inductance. So R is 300 and XC is 400. So this you will get as 500 ohm, not root 2, 500 ohm like this. So effective resistance of your circuit is 500 ohm. So what you will write? Current, peak current, I naught. I naught is nothing but E naught divided by Z. And what is E naught? 50. So 50 divided by 500, that is nothing but 0.1 ampere. So peak current in your circuit would be 0.1 ampere. Now let us talk about average power, P average. So average power is nothing but, now if you remember, there are multiple forms of average power equation. One is E RMS, I RMS, cos phi. Another is E naught, I naught, cos phi whole divided by 2. That is also true, because I RMS is nothing but I naught by root 2. E RMS is nothing but E naught by root 2 like this. So what is average power? So E naught is 50, I naught is 0.1. So 50 times 0.1 times cos phi. What is cos phi? Cos phi, if you remember, is nothing but R divided by Z. So R is given as 300 and Z we have calculated as 500. So cos phi is nothing but 3 by 5. So multiplied by 3 by 5 and this divided by 2 like this. So 5, this is 10. So that would be 10 times 3, 30, 30 into 0.1, 3 by 2, 1.5. So P average is nothing but 1.5 watt. So average power consumed in this circuit would be 1.5 watt. Now remember, this average power is not consumed by your capacitor. This average power will be consumed by what? By your resistor. So average power consumed by this circuit is 1.5 watt, where peak current is 0.1 ampere. Pause the video, note it down. Let us solve one more question based on your RC circuit. Now here it is given for the circuit shown as shown. So here it is a circuit and my power source has Vrms as 200 volts and frequency as 50 hertz. There is a capacitor of capacitance 100 by pi microfarad and there is a resistance 100 ohm. Now, so for the circuit shown, find the value of Z. Z is the impedance of the circuit. And in order to find the impedance, first I need to know what is reactance of this capacitor. So XC equal to what? 1 by omega times C. And what is omega? 2 pi times frequency, because omega by 2 pi is frequency. So omega is 2 pi times frequency. What is frequency? 50 hertz. So 100 times pi, that would be your omega. So 1 by 100 pi. And what is C? 100 microfarad. So 100 into 10 to the power minus 6 and multiplied by pi upside. So pi cancel. This is 10 to the power 4, 10 to the power minus 6. 10 to the power minus 2 is left. So that would be equal to 100 omega. So your XC is nothing but 100 ohm. That is reactance of your capacitor. So XC is 100 ohm. Now what is Z? Z is nothing but under root of R square plus XC square, because it is a RC circuit. There is no inductance. So that would be equal to how much? 100 square plus what is R? R is also 100. So 100 square. That would be equal to 100 root 2 ohm. So impedance of the circuit or effective resistance of the circuit is 100 root 2 ohms. So that is your A. What about B? Option number B. Option B is cos phi, power factor. So what is power factor? Power factor cos phi is nothing but R by Z. How? Because this is R, this is X, C, this is your Z. So this is phi, like this. So X cos phi is R by Z. R is 100 by Z. Z is how much? 100 root 2. 100 root 2. So cos phi is 1 by root 2. So if cos phi is 1 by root 2, what is phi? Phi is nothing but 45. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. So phi is 45 degree. Now what is E? That is EMF, or the EMF supplied, potential supplied by the source. So potential supplied by the source, E is nothing but E naught sine omega t. So what is E naught? Since ERMS is 200, ERMS is 200, so E naught is nothing but 200 root 2. So 200 root 2 sine of, what is omega? Omega we have already calculated, that is 100 pi, 2 pi mu. So 100 pi times t, that is omega t. So this is your E. And if you want to know the current, D option, current is nothing but I naught sine omega t plus phi. So I naught, what would be I naught? I naught would be E naught divided by Z. So E naught is where? E naught is 200 root 2. And what is Z? Z is 100 root 2. So I naught would be E naught by Z, not root 2, by Z sine of omega t. And since it is a capacitor, it will be plus phi. In case of inductor, it is minus phi. So that would be equal to E naught is 200 root 2, Z is 100 root 2. So that is 2. 2 sine of omega t. What is omega? Omega is 100 pi. 100 pi t plus, what is phi? Phi is 45 degree. 45 degree is nothing but pi by 4. Correct. So pi by 4. So that is your current. Now next, what is VC RMS? VC RMS is nothing but RMS voltage across your capacitor. If you want to know the potential across capacitor, then that you know VC RMS. What is VC RMS? RMS voltage across capacitor. And what is reactance of your capacitor? XC here. So VC RMS will be nothing but IRMS times XC. What is IRMS? IRMS is nothing but here. This is your I naught. I naught is 2. So IRMS will be root 2. So that would be equal to root 2 times XC. What is XC? 100. So 100. So 100 root 2 volt. That is your VCRMS. That is RMS voltage across your capacitor. Now what is your VRRMS? That is RMS voltage across your resistance. So that would be nothing but IRMS times your resistance. So IRMS is root 2, you already know, and resistance is 100, that you already know. So this would also be equal to 100 root 2. Now here is the interesting part. In case of an AC current, AC circuit, and whenever there is resistance and capacitance, if you pay attention, RMS voltage across your capacitor is 100 root 2. And RMS voltage across your resistance is 100 root 2. If you add them, what you will get? You will get 200 root 2. 200 root 2. But what is the RMS voltage here? Only 200. So here you cannot directly add. Here in case of an AC circuit, you cannot directly add RMS voltage of different components. That you should make a note of. So write that as a note. Write that as a note. Now, so if you cannot directly add, then what would be the case? So remember, in case of an AC circuit, in case of a series circuit, current would be same everywhere. Current would be same everywhere. Now, so if this is current, let us try to draw in the vector form. So if this is current, remember, in case of a capacitor, current leads EMF or the potential by pi by 2. So if this is the current in the circuit, then potential of the circuit would be like this. If this is current, current leads the potential like this. So VCRMS would be like this. And in case of a resistor, current and potential are in the same direction. So this is also the potential of VRRMS, same direction. So if you want to add potential of or VRMS across the resistor and VRMS across the capacitor, then you have to do vector sum. You cannot directly add them. So what you will have to do? Note VRMS of this circuit. This is 200. VRMS of the circuit. That should be equal to under root of V capital R RMS square. What is capital R RMS? RMS voltage or potential across the resistor plus VC RMS square. What is VC RMS? RMS voltage across your capacitor. So in case of series RC circuit, if you want to find the total, then you do not just add these RMS voltage. That you cannot do. Why? Because they are not, capacitor voltage or potential across the capacitor is not in phase with your current. It is pi by 2 behind the current. So you will have to do vector addition. Pause the video, note it down. So let us discuss an RL circuit or an LR circuit. Both ways it's fine. So what is an LR circuit? There is an AC source, there is a resistance connected, and there is an inductor. So we will not be using mathematical formula or mathematical way to finding the current in this circuit. That would be a little bit lengthy. So what we will do is we will find the vector method. What is vector method? Now, in case of vector method, what you do? Resistance across the x-axis. And here in case of L, in case of inductor, there would be XL. XL is nothing but omega times L, that we have already seen. And omega L is the reactance of your inductor in an AC circuit. And that would be written along the minus y-axis like this, XL. So what would be Z? Z is the impedance of the circuit. So Z can be written like this. Z. If that is Z, this becomes your phi. This is your XL. Same. We have shifted the vector. So if impedance is this, phi is this, then cos phi. Cos phi here you can write as, cos phi is nothing but XL divided by, no, that is tan phi. Cos phi is R by Z. Cos phi is R by Z, and tan phi, how do you know phi? Phi is nothing but XL by R, like this. Or since it is negative, you can write minus XL, no problem. So value will remain same. So in this case, if I want to know the current, what would be the current? Then what I will write? The current is nothing but E naught by Z sine of omega t minus of phi. Why I am writing minus phi? It is minus because here in case of a inductance, current lags behind the voltage or the potential. So since current lags behind, that is why I am writing minus. So remember, if you are taking minus here, then this is your just the magnitude. Or if you are writing the original equation omega t plus phi, then you will have to take this as tan phi is nothing but minus of XL divided by R. Why minus? Because it is shown along the negative y direction and XL is just the magnitude. Then what you will get here? You will get I equals I naught sine of omega t minus phi. Minus phi is whatever the value. So that you will get. So that would be the current. And what would be Z? Z would be nothing but under root of R square plus XL square. There is no C, so there would be no XC. And XL value is omega L. So you can also elaborate it. That is R square plus omega L square. So that would be your value of Z. So that how you can solve. Now what would be the power consumed? So power consumed in an LR circuit, P average. So power consumed, there is a standard. What is standard equation? ERMS IRMS cos phi. That is your standard. And what is cos phi? R by Z. R you know from here, Z you know from here. So this power, and you can also write it another way. What is this? E naught I naught cos phi whole divided by 2. That also can be written as your average power. So average power consumed in an LR circuit is this. Current in the circuit is this. Z is this. Tan phi is minus XL by R, where XL is just the magnitude of omega L. Cos phi is R by Z. XL is omega L. So in case of we use vector method finding the current, it becomes very easy. We will solve a question, then we will see. It becomes very easy. But if you try to find the current through the mathematical equation, that would be a little bit complicated. And that is why we do not use mathematical method in little complicated circuits. We use vector method. So pause the video, note them down, then we will solve a question based on your RL circuit. Let us solve a question based on your LR circuit. So here it is a circuit shown. The power source is 225 volt RMS and 50 Hertz frequency. Here inductor is 9 by 100 pi Henry and the resistance is 12 ohm. So the question is, for the circuit shown, find the current, power factor and average power. So first let us try to find the current. How do we find the current? In order to find the current, you need maximum potential, Z and omega and phi. Now first let us find maximum potential E naught. So if ERMS is given as 225, then E naught would be nothing but 225 root 2. So 225 root 2 volt. That is your E naught. Now what is omega? So 50 hertz is frequency. So omega is nothing but 2 pi times mu, because omega by 2 pi is frequency. So 2 pi times mu, that is 100 pi radian per second, that is your omega. And what is okay, E naught is known, omega is known, and Z, that is impedance of the circuit. In order to find Z, you need XL. What is XL? XL is nothing but omega times L. And what is omega? 100 pi. So 100 pi times L. L is 9 by 100 pi. So that would be equal to 9 ohm. So XL, which is reactance of your inductor, is 9 pi. So what would be impedance? Z. Z would be nothing but under root of R square plus XL square, which is equal to 12 square plus 9 square. So 144 plus 81, 144, yes, 144 plus 81 is 225. So that is 15 ohm. So your impedance of the circuit is 15. Now you can know the current. So first, current I. I is nothing but I naught. What is I naught? E naught by Z. E naught by Z. Sine of omega t minus of phi. So minus phi. Why minus phi? Because it is inductor. In case of inductor, it is minus because current lags the EMF. So phi, how you will know phi? Tan phi. Tan phi is nothing but your XL by R. XL is 9, R is 12. So 3 by 4. So phi is your 37 degrees. So that is your tan phi. So minus of 37 degrees, like this. So E naught like this. So E naught is your how much? E naught is 225 root 2 and Z is how much? 15. So I is nothing but 225 by 15 is 15. So 15 root 2 sine of omega t minus of, if you want to convert 37 degrees into radian, then 37 into pi divided by 180, like this. So that is your current in this circuit. Now you know the current. Now second is, what is power factor? What is power factor? So power factor is nothing but cos phi, and phi we already know. Phi we know 37 degree. So cos phi will be how much? Cos phi will be your, if 37, so cos of 37 is how much? 4 by 5. So power factor is 4 by 5. Now what is average power? C. What is average power consumed in your circuit? So average power, P average. So P average is nothing but E RMS, or you can write like this: E naught I naught cos phi whole divided by 2. So E naught is 225 root 2. 225 root 2. I naught is how much? I naught is 15 root 2. 15 root 2. Cos phi is how much? 4 by 5. 4 by 5. And whole divided by 2. Like this. So 225 into 15 into 4 divided by 5. Root 2 will be cancelled out. So that would be 225 into 3 into 4. 225 into 4. So 225 into 12. 3 into 4 is 12. 0, 6, 3, 27. 2700 watt. So average power in this case would be 2700 watts. Pause the video, note it down. Let us solve another question based on your RL circuit. And in this question, we will try to understand what is the use of an RL circuit. Why there is an inductor needed. Now the question given is, a bulb is rated 100 volt and 100 watts. Meaning if you supply 100 volt power, 100 volt EMF across the bulb, then it will deliver 100 watt power. Find the inductance of an inductor that should be connected in series with the bulb in order to operate it at rated power by an AC source of 200 volt RMS voltage and 50 Hertz frequency. Now what if I directly attach the bulb to this AC source? What would happen? If I directly add the bulb, then power would be delivered what? Power is nothing but V square divided by R. And what is R in this case? Resistance of the bulb is nothing but 100. R is nothing but P square divided by your V. that is 100 square divided by 100, that is 100. So resistance of the bulb in this case is 100 ohm. So if I directly connect the bulb to this source, then Vrms square, that's how you calculate, Vrms square divided by R. So Vrms is 200 square divided by R, that is 100 ohm. That you would get how much? 200 square is 0 cancel, 400 watt. So if you directly connect, you will get power of 400 watt, but the bulb is of 100 watts. So your bulb will fuse. So you can directly not connect. Okay. Now what I can do is, I can add an extra resistance in the circuit. I can add an extra resistance. So for example, I make my bulb like this. This is the bulb and this is your circuit. I added an extra resistance. So if I add an extra resistance, then what would happen? So this is 100, this is R. Now what should be the value of this extra resistance? Value of this extra resistance, what would be power? Power is nothing but I square times R. I RMS square times R, that is also correct. Not R, we want to know the power of the bulb. So 100. So what would be this? I is nothing but 200 divided by R plus 100, like this, multiplied by 100, like this, and this is equal to 100 watt. So 0 cancel, R plus 100 is equal to 200. That gives me R equals 100. So if I add an extra 100 ohm, if I add an extra 100 ohm resistance, then also I will get the rated power from the bulb. That is correct. Now, if I add an extra 100, then also I am getting rated power, meaning, but what is the problem here? What is the problem with adding an extra resistance? See here, if you add an extra resistance, then this bulb is getting the same power, but some energy will be lost in this resistance also. This resistance also will consume some amount of energy. So you are losing energy. Energy is lost in the form of heat in this resistance. So you are just wasting some amount of energy here. The bulb is producing light, but this resistance is just wasting energy. So it is not economical to add an extra resistance in order to operate that bulb at this voltage. So what I will do? I will add an inductor. Now why adding an inductor is better than adding a resistor? Let us say L. Why it is better? See here. In case of you add an inductor, Z becomes what? Z becomes R square plus omega L square. That is your Z. Meaning effective resistance of the circuit is increased. So your current will be decreased and your bulb will be at rated power. But even though effective resistance of the circuit is increased, this inductor itself does not consume any power. See the difference. In case you are adding the resistor here, then also effective current was decreasing and the bulb was getting rated power. But then wherever here resistance was added, that resistance was also consuming power, and that was a total waste. But here when we add an inductor, then what is the benefit here? The benefit here is effective resistance is increased, but this inductor itself is not wasting any energy, and that is why it is beneficial that I add an inductor instead of adding a resistor. In both the case, my bulb can glow at a rated power, but in the adding resistor, we will lose energy. In case of adding an inductor, we will not lose any energy because inductor itself does not consumes any energy. So here, so what is Z? Z is this. So if Z is this and 100 watt and this is, so power of the bulb should be 100 watt. So power is 100 watt, that is nothing but IRMS square times the resistance of the bulb, that is 100. So this should be equal to 100. So 100 equals, what is IRMS? IRMS is nothing but ERMS divided by Z. So ERMS is 200 divided by Z square times 100. So 100 cancel. You will get Z equals 200. So your impedance of the circuit is 200. So if the impedance is 200, put this value and let us try to find out how much is omega L. So 200 square equals R is 100 square. And what is omega? Omega is not given, but frequency is given. So omega is nothing but 2 pi times frequency. So omega is 100 pi. So plus 100 pi. And what is L? L you have to find out. So 100 pi L square, like this. So 100 square everywhere cancelled. So that you will get 3. 4 minus 1 3 equals pi square L square, like this. So you will get L equals root 3 divided by pi. So what inductor you should add? So inductance of the inductor is root 3 times pi. So understand that why we are adding inductor and not a resistor. Because in case of a resistor adding, then also I can get the power from the bulb, same power. But in that case, your some energy will be wasted here. But in case of an inductor you add, there would no energy be wasted. So like this. So pause the video, note it down. Let us solve another question based on your RL circuit. So here question is given, when an inductor coil is connected to an ideal battery, here we are not connecting to an AC source, we are connected to an ideal battery of EMF 10 volt. A constant current of 2.5 ampere flows in the circuit. Now, so here let us suppose that this is an inductor and I connect it to an ideal battery like this. So if the battery is ideal, what is the meaning of ideal battery? That there is no internal resistance of the battery. And if this is an inductor, so where is the resistance? How the current is flowing? Remember, XL is what? XL is nothing but omega times L. And in case of an ideal battery or DC source, omega is what? 0. So there is no reactance. So if XL is 0, then there should be no current. And if there is no current, then how there is current is flowing? There is 2.5 ampere current. So there must be some resistance associated with the coils of this inductor. There must be some resistance. So what I will write? I will write that this inductor is not ideal. The coils, the wire in the coil of this inductor has some resistance. So let us say that resistance is R and the value of inductance is L. So here 2.5 ampere is why? Because this wire has some resistance. So 2.5 ampere is nothing but 10 volt divided by resistance of the wire of inductor. So this is not an ideal inductor, because in an ideal inductor there is no resistance of the wire. So like this. So here you will get R is nothing but 10 divided by 2.5, that is 4 ohm. Meaning the coils of the inductor have resistance equal to 2.5 ohm. Okay. Now, when the same inductor is connected to an AC source, okay, let us remove this. Let us remove this and connect an AC source of ERMS 10 volt and 50 hertz. You can see 50 hertz. So if that is the case, then IRMS is given as 2 ampere. So if AC source is there, then we will find Z. What would be Z? Z would be nothing but here. Remember, here there is a resistance of the coils of the wire. That would be R square. Plus there would be a reactance of the inductor. That would be XL square, like this. So Z is nothing but under root of 4 square, because R we have already calculated as 4, plus XL. XL is nothing but omega times L. So omega is how much? 2 pi times frequency, 100 pi times L square, that is your Z. And if this is Z, what is IRMS? IRMS is 2 ampere, and IRMS is nothing but ERMS divided by Z. So from here you can write IRMS 2 ampere, ERMS 10 divided by Z. So from here you will get Z equals 5 ohm, like this. So if Z is 5 ohm here, so 5 square equals 4 square plus 100 pi L square, like this. So 100 pi L square will be nothing but 25 minus 16, that is 9. So from where you will write 100 square pi square L square equals 9. So you will get L equals under root of 9 divided by 100 square pi square, that is 3 divided by 100 pi. So that would be your inductance of the circuit. That should be here in this case. So here if you remember that remember this, whenever there is no, in this type of cases, for example here they have connected to a battery. So when you connect to a battery, so in case of constant current, DC, constant DC, there is no reactance, there is no omega. So XL will be 0, your XC will be 0, like that. So in case of your constant current, do not take XL and XC. In case of constant current, for example battery, and you add to a capacitor. So as you know, if you add a capacitor across a battery, what happens? After some time capacitors gets charged and your current stops. So that you have to be careful. Pause the video, note it down. So in this lecture of your alternating current, that is lecture number 4, we have covered first, that is power consumed in an RLC circuit or an AC circuit. What is power consumed? ERMS, IRMS, cos phi, where cos phi is power factor. We have also seen what is an RC circuit. What is RC circuit? A resistor and a capacitor is connected to an AC source. We have also seen an RL circuit, that is R and inductor is connected across a AC source. We have seen that in case of these circuits, power developed is consumed in a resistor, meaning the inductor itself does not consumes any power, and your capacitor also does not consumes any power. So whatever power you get in an AC source, that power is consumed across your resistor. In the next lecture of your alternating current, we will be talking about your LCR circuit, meaning in the same circuit there will be resistance, there will be capacitor, there will be your inductor, all of them across an AC source. And we will also talk about that there is a certain condition known as resonance condition. Resonance. So what happens in resonance in an LCR circuit, that also we will talk about in the next lecture. Until then, revise your topics and try to solve as many problems as you can. And if you have any doubt, you can just ask them in your doubt group.